Yes, Lego's Island in 2021. Oh boy, thank God it wasn't as big as, say, 2019 and 2020. And the reason why I say thankfully is there is not as many events as those last 2 years. Oh boy, thank God, because last time we did it for 2019 and 2020, there are 2 separate videos, of course, those took hours. And I'm not joking. So, thankfully, there were less events than those 2 years in 2021. So, thankfully, we won't be here as long as those videos. Anyway, point is, this year was still pretty fantastic for the island. So, well, what am I still talking here for? Let's just jump right into it. Of course, as always, to start off the year, as always on the island, we start off with the New Year's party of 2021. It started on January 1st and was originally meant to only go for the first 3 days of 2021. However, I didn't make the video showcasing the party until the day it actually was meant to end. So, because of that, I extended it for a few days, ending it on the 8th. Of course, as usual with all New Year's parties, the island was decorated in a New Year's theme, and some Christmas rooms from 2020 were still left over, but they were eventually cleaned up only a week after the event ended, thankfully. The colors for the New Year's party of 2021 included of the following, of course. Wait, where is it? There it is! Brown and cyan. There we go. I will admit, this was still a pretty good New Year's party, but with half of the Christmas rooms left over, it made it probably one of the least decorated New Year's parties I think we've seen yet. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but even with less rooms, it was still pretty cool. Not really much else to say about this party, so let's move on to the better events. This one was still cool though. The next party to occur was the May's 3rd anniversary party. It started on January 18th and ended on the 21st. Of course, as usual, this party always celebrates the May's anniversary, which in 2021, it was the 3rd anniversary. So as usual, the Maze was decorated in a beautiful theme, with that being in the footage being the soul torches. And I will admit, that was honestly a really neat addition. And that was also a pretty neat addition right there too. So yeah, I will admit. Point is, as usual with all of the other May's anniversary celebrations, the island was decorated in a cave theme, dedicated to the maze, because the maze was underground. Oh yeah, about all that lava, we'll get to that in a minute, because it revolves around the next event we talked about. Either way, basically, this party I think was basically the exact same thing as the last 2 May's anniversaries, with almost no differences besides the fact that I think there were less rooms decorated than the previous year. Actually, yeah, that actually is true. There were less rooms decorated in this party compared to the last one, but that was fine at the time. We eventually met that up in the 4th anniversary party for the maze in 2022. We'll admit though, the maze this time looked freaking awesome. Like the past 2 maze anniversaries, all of the tunnels made a return. And of course, I think unlike the 2nd anniversary, none of the armor I don't think was hidden in the tunnels. I think they were just spread across the island, if I remember that correctly. So, yeah. That's pretty much all that needs to be said about this event. Let's move on to the next one, which is what all that lava was in the footage. On January 7th, 2021, the volcano in the Prehistoric Park was erupted. Well, it erupted, causing lava to spread all over the Prehistoric Park. At the time, we had no clue why the heck this happened, but I eventually revealed it later on. And yeah, at the time, it looked really, really bad. Eventually it was fixed though. A week later, on January 14th, 2021, the lava from the Prehistoric Park eventually spread it to the Port and Lodge. which that was absolutely insane. So basically, that's exactly why you saw lava in the footage when we were talking about the Maze anniversary. It was all leading up to something. At the time, we still had no clue why all this lava was here at first. But eventually, the time machine right here eventually made its way to, well, the island. On January 20th of 2021, I finally revealed why all the lava was there to begin with and why the time machine was also there to begin with. There was even a message at the time machine explaining why all this was here. So basically it says, lava has spread it all over the island. Come back January 21st to find out how we're going to solve this. Because we needed to find a way to get all the lava out of the island. And well, the event that came out of that was Prehistoric Party. This was a new event at Lego's Island at the time. And honestly, I am actually very glad I held this event, as we finally had something new on the island at the time. And I think I truly did a good job of making the island truly look like a prehistoric themed island. Either way, the point of this Prehistoric Party. It started on January 21st and ended February 4th. Like I just said, this party obviously followed a prehistoric theme, as it says here. And the entire island's decorations show that I wasn't joking about that. The true point about this party was that I wanted to design the island as a prehistoric theme because why not at the time? It was a fun idea. So in this party, we had to dig in the digging spots for prehistoric items, which in my opinion was really cool. That's another thing you could do alongside exploring the prehistoric themed island. Yep, in those digging spots down there. Those digging spots right down there. You see my cursor right there? Those digging spots. We got to dig for prehistoric items. And eventually, all of the prehistoric items were put into the volcano at the prehistoric park after the event was over. After the event was over, at least on the last day, and all the items were inserted into the volcano. There we go, that's what it was meant to say. We were able to activate the flood to get rid of all of the lava from the prehistoric park. There we go. Why am I messing up things now? And for those curious how that went... Yeah! Look at that beauty. Look at that! That is actually incredible. Yeah! It's gone! So yeah, eventually all of the lava was gone from the prehistoric park after we inserted all the items into the volcano. And it actually went pretty well, I will admit. It was actually pretty satisfying at the time. So eventually, we did get rid of all the lava from the volcano and prehistoric park. And the day after, on February 4th, the island returned to normal. And yeah. So that's it for the Prehistoric Party. This was a pretty fun event, I will admit. A little fun fact, it was originally meant to return in January of 2022. At least I confirmed that it was originally going to, it was originally going to return in January of 2022. Because it was so much fun the first time, I thought, why not do it again a year later? However, around almost nearly a whole year later, in December of 2021, I thought of another event, that being the Festival of Snow. But don't worry, this event will come back one day. I promise. Maybe even next year, if I decide to hold it in the same month. Either way, I promise you, this event will come back one day. It was originally meant to come back this year in January, but I replaced it with the Festival of Snow because I honestly felt that felt more exciting. But I again promise you, this event will come back one day. Just not this year. Moving on. Alongside the Prehistoric Party, on January 25th, 2021, Master Evil Oinkers had his first ever attack on Lego's Island, that being Operation Nether. It started on January 25th and ended February 1st. So it was in the middle of the Prehistoric Party, which honestly, that seemed pretty freaking perfect at the time, because it kind of fit the theme a little, actually very well. There we go. Don't know what I was saying, but it actually fit the theme pretty well for what was actually going on at the island at the time. And the same armor was used as the Prehistoric Party, that being the Netherite armor. The point is, Master Evil Oinkers created this huge machine that you see here in the footage in the Nether, where tons of cords were connected to it. His goal was to turn the entire island into the Nether by using this very machine. And my God, that was actually pretty scary. He was literally going to turn the entire island of Lego's Island into the freaking Nether. That was pretty scary. Throughout the event, I had to disable these Nether-themed cords that connected to the machine that were spread across the island. And oh boy, while it did take a while to do all of them, it was worth it, because by doing so, it would save the island from turning into the Nether, which is what we did not want at the time. But that's definitely what Master Evil Oinkers wanted to happen at the time. Oh boy, thank God these cords were around so I could just disable them within a very short amount of time. Either way, it was actually pretty satisfying disabling all these Nether cords. You know, the things that you see on screen, all this Nether theme stuff. Yeah, they all went into the Nether portal, which was insane at the time, and went into that machine that we just saw. My God, it took forever to disable all these cords, but in my opinion, it was worth it. The missions were daily. So, yeah, as you would expect. Of course, we had a battle with Master Evil Oinkers at the end. Except it didn't happen on the actual day. You see, the battle was meant to be done on January 31st, 2021. Instead, however, it was actually done on February 10th, 2021. The main purpose behind that was because I completely forgot about the battle. But thankfully, I did do it right before, like, this battle was done the day before the main February event, which, speaking of which, we will get to, not our next one, but because we have a mini event to go through after this. But after that, we will get to the February event. We got one mini event to go through before getting to the February event. But either way, the battle was pretty satisfying. Obviously, it took place in the Nether, hence it being called Operation Nether. So you would expect it obviously takes place in the Nether. It was also pretty satisfying having Master Evil Oinkers burn up a ton of times. Oh boy, satisfying as heck. While we'll probably never have this event again, unless it should be brought back within reason. I don't see a reason, but I mean, if Operation Slime is coming back in 2022, anything can happen. Except if it's Operation No. No. No! On the last day of the Prehistoric Party, we had the 1-year anniversary of the Underground Party Room. Well, sorry, the 2-year anniversary party. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, 2-year anniversary. Yep, this was held on the last day of the Prehistoric Party, as it ended February 4th. And, well, it looked like this. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably one of the coolest ones yet. This, my God. I think we went all out for this one. Obviously, it only lasted the one day of February 3rd, so that was pretty sweet. But my God, I still cannot get over how awesome this room was back then. I truly think I did a good job. And with that being said, that pretty much is it. So, of course, the, room, well, the entire thing right here, the entire room wall. Sorry, all of the rooms were decorated with the anniversary decoration. Sorry I can't speak there. But, yeah. Either way, the rooms look fantastic. I don't know how I'm going to top that off this year, but I'll find a way. You know, it's funny. This year's celebration, since it's February 3rd, that is literally the day the Festival of Snow ends. So, that's cool. Alright, next event is Operation Evil Cluck 2021. It started on February 11th and ended March 4th. Of course, as usual, like the previous Operation Evil Cluck, there were 3 phases dedicated in the events. Of course, only one of them made a return from the previous. Well, technically the last one had 4, but this one we went down to 3. But one of those 4 from the previous made a return in this one, while the other 2 were different. And thank God they were. But the point is, this had to be one of the biggest events of the year. Let me say, this was one of the biggest events of the year besides Legos Island Summer. Oh no, I think this and Legos Island Summer were the 2 biggest events of 2021, hands down. If you guys can agree with me, that would be cool, but it's all your opinion. At least in my opinion, this Operation Evil Cluck and Legos Island Summer were the 2 biggest events of the year. And I mean combining all 3 of the events. I mean just all of Operation Evil Cluck itself. But either way, let's get on with the first phase. Phase 1, from February 11th to the 18th, was the Operation Evil Cluck vs. Evil Sheet Leader War of 2021. It lasted from February 11th to the 18th. And, of course, that being Phase 1. Basically, this event pretty much played out pretty much the exact same way as the previous Operation Evil Cluck vs. Evil Sheet Leader War in September of 2020. Obviously, the difference was that all of the attacks were completely different. And thank God they were. Because we actually got something completely different out of it. And that was super, super cool. We even got some new banners dedicated to the 2 villains that were going against each other. I will admit, this was honestly, I don't even know if this was better than the original. I don't even know. I can't even compare the 2. Oh boy, I don't even know which one was better, but I think both of them were equally good. Either way, like I said, pretty much played out the exact same way as the previous one, except obviously the attacks were different. There's not really much to say about this one, not gonna lie. So, of course, like the previous war, whatever attack Evil Cluck and Evil Sheet Leader did onto the island, I had to fix it before the island was destroyed. Pretty much the same thing as the last war. And it was actually kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. Even though it was annoying, I will admit, it was kind of fun actually doing this. While I don't know when we'll ever have this again, and I don't think I want it for a while, either way, well, we know it isn't coming back this year because we already have the whole year planned out. Unless something randomly happens, I don't think we're seeing this event again in 2022. Maybe next year, though. But I definitely know it's not going to be this year because obviously I already have the whole year planned out. Either way, I will admit, this was a really fun war this time. I don't know if it was even better than the last one. But yeah, as you can see in the footage, Evil Cluck turned the underground party room into his own. Basically, very similarly to how he did it in 2019. And I mean actually pretty similarly, actually, to how he did it in 2019. Maybe only just a few semi-differences, but either way, it was pretty cool. And we're only talking Phase 1 here. I'll talk about a few more before we move on. Not all of them, because we'll be here for a while. For Evil Sheet Leader, on the other hand, he actually took away the blue fire and changed it back to the OG, or just the original orange fire from when the resort was first created. Of course, we did not want that. We wanted it to change back to the annual blue fire that we were all familiar with at the time, and that is there today. So we did that. And honestly, I still prefer the blue fire as into the orange fire. Well, I did like it back then. I just prefer the blue. But if we ever needed to bring it back, hey, we'll have Evil Leader do that himself if I ever tell him to. Oh well, like I'll ever need that. But the point is, this was pretty cool. I'll talk about at least one more day of this war. Okay, not gonna lie, Mission 7, Evil Leader's part, was freaking interesting as heck. I have to bring it up here. He actually found his way into the Legos Island HQ, and I still can't believe that actually happened. He actually found a way into the Legos Island HQ. Granted, this was the last day of the war. But my god, this was interesting as heck. I don't know how he made his way in here, but he just did. And it was insane. Literally. And here it only took me a few minutes to finally realize that he actually did indeed make his way into the HQ. And well, this footage proves it. Yep. Oh boy, this was interesting as heck. Seriously, how the heck did he get in the HQ at the time? Alongside the Operation Evil Cluck vs. Evil Sheet Leader War of 2021, we actually had the Valentine's Day Party of 2021. And, well, let's just say this room design right here stayed for a few months by accident. Yeah. I'm not joking, that actually did happen. Like all the other Valentine's Day parties, the island was decorated in a Valentine's Day theme. However, this time, due to the war going on, not the entire island was decorated, as expected because the island was being attacked at the time. So only a few rooms were decorated, but I decorated as many rooms as possible during the time. Don't worry guys, this year we have no attacks going on during the time of the Valentine's Day party. So the island will be back to being completely decorated this year. I promise you, 100%. Either way, this was still a good Valentine's Day party though. Even though there were less rooms, just like the New Year's party, this was still pretty cool. We even still got a full set of armor out of it. So that was good. Most of the rooms were decorated in purple. And it was also done with the Purple Heart. As promised from the last Valentine's Day party in 2020, I promised you guys that I would do the Purple Heart in the next one. And I definitely gave my promise there. And, well, that showed. And then I just went crazy and just went all purple with the Valentine's Day party for some reason. Either way, it was still pretty freaking awesome at the time. Like I said, not the entire island was decorated, but again, I decorated as many rooms as possible during this party because the war was going on. So yeah, I will admit, I think I did a pretty good job for Valentine's Day last year. But honestly, now that I'm back to being able to decorate the entire island, I think I'm going to do way better this time. I still appreciate what I did last year, though, as well. It started on February 12th and ended on February 15th. It only went for the literal weekend of Valentine's Day. Literally. I'm not even joking. It only went for like 3 days. They can get the shortest Valentine's Day party to yet to occur on the island. Literally. That's the shortest Valentine's Day party to ever occur on the island. I'm not joking at all. It has never been that short. And don't worry, this year's isn't that short. It's back to being a week long. Oh, frick! I was wondering where that banner went. The village had to be my personal favorite area in this event. Because honestly, you guessed it, I pretty much decorate the village like crazy. I think this was my favorite place in the event. Not gonna lie. Alright, let's move on to the next phase of Operation Evil Cluck. Will admit though, this village design was freaking awesome. And the entire party as well. For phase 2 of Operation Evil Cluck 2021, we had Operation Meltdown 2021. It started on February 18th and ended on the 25th. Which, like I said, all of these phases only went for a week long. And yes, we'll get to this last one right after this. And we will actually, since there's no mini events in between. Thankfully. Well, let's get into this. Like the last Operation Meltdown, various places on the island were melted, as you could clearly see here. Okay, I guess one room from the Valentine's Day party never was cleaned up. RIP. Yeah, I forgot to mention, these three symbols actually meant something in this event. Forgot to mention that earlier. In this event, we also got introduced to some new ice core rooms, such as one in the campsite, hence why it was melted at the time. And that was actually the first mission of the event at the time. And to find that ice core room, we actually had to go underwater, at least right below the campsite. And funny enough, this ice core room is somehow still open on the island. So that was a new one at the time. That was not there the last time. Literally. And it shows. Of course, like the previous Operation Meltdowns, we had to remove the fire and replace it with the ice core to restore all of the snow back to every single area. Basically, the exact same thing as the previous Operation Meltdown, just in a few different areas that weren't there last time. Okay, never mind. We actually did have a mini event at the tallest mountain during the Operation Meltdown. It was to celebrate the 3-year anniversary since the first ever mountain expedition and since our discovery of the tallest mountain. Never mind. We did have a mini event here. It lasted until the 28th, starting on February 21st. Alright, I had to bring up Mission 5 before we move on because it actually was located in the Icelands. And this is the only mission to not have an ice core room. We legit had to put it underwater. The ice core underwater to keep the Icelands from melting. And well, it worked! On the last day, February 24th, we had to find Master Evil Hunters in the Icelands and defeat them once and for all to finish off Operation Meltdown. It was kind of hard to find them, not gonna lie. But eventually, I did find them and we did beat them. And here's proof I wasn't actually joking about that. Told you I wasn't lying about that. Oh boy, though. We actually got to see the real form of Master Evil Hunters. Apparently, he wasn't just a normal pig. He was actually a pigman. Hey, at least we finally found that out about him. Beautiful. That was one cool part about the mission. We finally got to see his true form, and he wasn't just a normal pig. He was just a pigman the entire time. Oh well, guess I got that mistaken after the this. So hey, at least that was good to know at the time. And after that point, I always remembered that he looked like that. Thankfully. For the final phase of Operation Evil Cluck 2021, it was Operation Legos Island 2021. It started on February 25th and ended March 4th. Like the past few Operation Legos Islands, there we go. Why am I always messing that up? Oh my god, I swear I'm messing things up lately when talking about these. But the point is, like the past few Operation Legos Islands, you know the deal. We had to go back in time to previous versions of Legos Island to save the island from being corrupted. And oh boy, it was satisfying doing it once again. The first one was April 7th of 2019. That was pretty fun at the time, I'm not gonna lie. It was so cool going back to a day that was so epic at the time back in 2019. Oh boy, I'll always remember that. On February 26th, we went to February 6th of 2019, which was the day the island was corrupted back then. And that was insane. We had to unbury the corruption holes because Evil Cluck buried them at the time, which is exactly what did not happen on that day originally. It was actually the second time we actually ever went to this time period, believe it or not, after first doing so on February 6th of 2020. So that was a fun thing. We'll probably never go back here again because I think we already have done it twice. But either way, it was still fun at the time. It was also fun going back to a day that should always be remembered on this island for the rest of eternity. On February 27th, we went to January 25th of 2020, which on that day was the day the first ever Operation Meltdown was first held. And of course, what we had to do was fix any areas that were not meant to be melted already at the time. The only thing that was meant to stay melted was the mountain itself right here. However, when we got there, the resort was already melted, but that was not meant to be happening at the time, as that would not be melted till the second half of the event. So I had to fix that to prevent the time period from getting corrupted. Not gonna lie, it was actually kind of funny going back to this time period, seeing as we literally had only just done Operation Meltdown a week prior to doing this. So I admit, at the time, it was actually kind of hilarious. So yeah, again, because we had literally just done Operation Meltdown right before Operation Nichols Island, so it was kind of hilarious at the time, I'm not gonna lie. On February 28th, we went to we went to December 1st, 2018. There we go. Of course, the purpose behind that time period was the island was covered in snow after the Adventure Party of 2018, which led into Lego's Island Christmas of 2018, which, fun fact, we did go to during this time period, only a day later, on March 1st. And well, it proved we were actually back there because the snow tunnel came back. I will admit, that was pretty freaking awesome at the time. Now, what did Evil Cluck do here? Well, have yourself a listen. In this time period, he swapped the Avant-Counter door colors by the opposite. Basically, any Avant-Counter door that was red in the original time period was blue, and any blue Avant-Counter door originally was red and green. So my job was to fix them and transfer them back to their original colored doors before leaving the time period. I will admit, it took a while, seeing as we had 25 of them to do. But we definitely did it at the end. Obviously, we explored the time period after all was done here, and that goes for all time periods, like the last two Operation Nichols Islands prior to this. And same will be done with Operation Nichols Island 2022 in April/May. With that being said, let's move on to the next time period. I wasn't joking when I said that we actually went back to December 6th of 2018, which was the day Lego's Island Christmas 2018 started. Because we did, and oh boy, it was fun. It was fun going back to something I put so much time into back in the day. And my god, this was way too much fun. What did Evil Cluck do here, you were probably wondering? Evil Cluck put bells all over the December 6, 2018 time period. And of course, my job was to get rid of them, seeing as at the time, the bells weren't even added to Minecraft yet at the time when this time period was originally a thing, December 6, 2018, as they were added to the game, at least in the full release on April 23rd, 2019. So, since they didn't actually were added to the game yet at the time of December 6, 2018, I had to remove them all, seeing as, well, if I left them there, you guessed it, time period would be corrupted. And oh boy, there were so many of them that the mission took forever. I'm not gonna lie, this had to be one of the longest missions besides the final battle. Because oh boy, there were so many that I had to clean up. But it was worth it. Because we got to explore one of the coolest time periods in this event. Besides February 6th of 2019, obviously. Oh boy, what a satisfying day that was. And this all took place on March 1st of 2021. This was again, I forgot to mention, the first Operation Nichols Island to cross over into another month. Well, what do you know? We're going to be getting that this year again in 2022, because this year starts at the end of April and ends at the beginning of May. On March 2nd, we traveled to February 22nd, 2019. Which was the day the first ever Operation Wilderness began, and when the wilderness was open for the first time. That was a fun day. That was one of my most exciting days of February that year, and I still can agree so to myself almost 3 years later. So what did Evil Cluck do here, you're probably wondering? Evil Cluck set all of the dogs free from their cages and captured ESL, which is the complete opposite of what Operation Wilderness 2019 was. Well, basically on day one. Purposely, in the actual Operation Wilderness, all the dogs were captured day one, alongside Evil Sheet Leader not being captured originally, because I had to save all the dogs at the time. But Evil Cluck did pretty much the opposite. He basically did my job for me of releasing all the dogs. But that was not what was meant to happen. The dogs were meant to stay captured until their respective day was, at least until their respective mission was completed. So I had to put them all back just to prevent the time period from getting corrupted. And well, it worked! Lastly but not least, on March 3rd, we went to, well, the future. as always. That being January 18th of 2023, which in that actual time would be the 5-year anniversary of the maze. Yeah, that's not a joke. That actually is true for next year on that day. And for all we know, it probably will look like this. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, this, we obviously had to battle evil Cluck on top of, well, actually, it was, wait, what was it? I think it was the campsite, right? Yeah, I think it was the campsite. Assuming it loads. There we go. Yep, it was indeed the campsite. We had to battle on top of the campsite. Oh boy. You know the deal. Like the past 2 Operation Legos Islands prior to this, we had one of the most insane battles of all time. And this probably had to be the most hardcore battle of all time. Oh boy. Satisfying as heck. But my god, it was difficult. Oh god, thank god I had regen at the time. Otherwise, I would have been dead every single time. And you know the deal. Eventually, I kept falling 1 trillion times. You better believe, thank god I had firework rockets. Otherwise, I would have never survived the battle. Well, except for that one time right there. Of course, we used TNT bombs to obviously blow up evil Cluck as follows. Because, you know, it was freaking awesome at the time. And, well, as follows. Yeah, it was satisfying as heck doing that. And you know that's going to happen again in 2022. It's just satisfying every time. Of course, after that, we explored the future time period and then eventually went back to the present on March 4th, wrapping up Operation Evil Cluck 2021. Wow, that was a lot to go through. Only 3 days after the epic battle against Evil Cluck in the future, we had the 3-year anniversary of the event room. It started on March 6th, and I think only just went for the 1 day of March 6th. Because I think I said it back then. Either way, like all the other event room anniversary parties, the event room was decorated in a unique way as always, this time in coal and redstone, because why not at the time, just like the Prehistoric Party. Why not that I held that event at the time, it was fun. So I thought, why not do that? At least just do coal and redstone for this. And I don't know what I'm going to do for 4 years. I'll think about it. Either way, we still have over a month away until that happens. So I have enough time to plan that out. Anyway, point is, there's not really much to say about this. The only room pretty much decorated was the event room, but if I remember correctly, yeah, that was decorated too. Right. That's normally always decorated. Every time. We'll admit though, room looked fantastic at the time. And I don't know how I'm gonna top off last year's for this year's. I don't know. We'll see. There's not much else to say about this. Of course, we had a yearbook like usual. And of course, a hat. That's pretty much it. These event room anniversaries are pretty much always the same, except for the colors. Moving on. But if that wasn't enough, only 2 days later, on March 8th, 2021, we had the 2-year anniversary of the dog park. It lasted only the 1 day of March 8th, and, well, like the last dog park anniversary, the whole dog park was decorated. And that was pretty much it. Of course, the colors were a bit different, that being yellow and white. And what's funny is that the number 2, I think, was made out of bone blocks, if I remember at the time. Yep, it was. I could see them right there. That was really cool. Basically, it was basically the exact same thing as the previous dog park anniversary, except for the colors being different, of course, as usual. So yeah, basically, same deal as the last one. The whole dog park was decorated in anniversary cakes and decorations. Although, now the dog park does look a little bit different now, so, hey, we get a new design this year. Nice! Not really much to say about this event. It was obviously only at the dog park, hence why its anniversary being the dog park. You get the idea. Moving on to an actual big event. The next party to occur on Legos Island was actually an event of two. Pi Day and St. Patrick's Day, although a majority of the island was St. Patrick's Day. The point is, it started on March 14th and ended on the 21st. Like I said, this party was a combination between St. Patrick's Day and Pi Day, seeing as they were only 3 days apart. This party actually started on Pi Day itself. Now, there were rooms designed in between both events. For example, you can see here the resort was indeed decorated for Pi Day, as you can see, because there was no green to be found. The same could be said with the theme park and the village itself. I'll admit though, this looked epic as heck. I legit have no clue how I'm going to top this off this year in 2022. It just looked so freaking good last year. And if I had to say so myself, this probably had to be even better than the St. Patrick's Day party of 2019. The design honestly looked way better, and I think it's proven. Now we can move on to the biggest event of March. Oh, you know what we're about to get into. The Legos Island 4th anniversary party. This was awesome! Instead of past designs coming back to the island for the anniversary, it was all new, custom designs exclusive to every single event held on Legos Island. One room for each. Well, except for the St. Patrick's Day one. That one was reused from the St. Patrick's Day party of 2021. Either way, though, this was probably my most creative idea for the anniversary at the time. But honestly, I think 5 years is going to be even better. I still have no clue to this day which one of these rooms was my favorite. They were just all so good. But, no, literally, there were custom room designs dedicated to every single event held on Legos Island in each area of the island. Let's just say, this took forever to make, and also took forever to clean up. Fun fact, the theme park design actually stayed during the April Fool's party as a bit of a joke. Literally, I'm not even joking, I'll show you later. One of my personal favorite rooms in this party was the dog park because it was themed after Operation Legos Island, which, as you know, is one of my favorite events of all time that I look forward to every year. And that's still the case. So, that was really cool. Oh, and speaking of this April Fool's Day themed room, this was actually reused for the April Fool's party of 2021. And you'll see what I mean later, because I wasn't actually joking. Anyway, with that being said, I truly think I did an incredible job on all of these custom room designs, because it really showed what all of these events were known for. And I don't know if I'm ever going to do something like this again. Probably not, but unless you guys want me to, please comment down below. Not this year, though. No, I got something way better planned for 5 years. So yeah, please be on the lookout for that in March. With all that being said, let's move on. Wait, sorry, the village is my second favorite room because it actually hinted towards the Legos Island summer theme for later that year. And, well, let's just say that it semi came back in that event later on in the year. But something else probably caught your attention. The country flags. We'll get to that later. Oh, and lastly, I forgot to mention this design was also reused at the April Fool's party. Also, if I hadn't said it already, this event started on March 25th and ended April 1st. That's if I haven't said it already. I apologize if I said that twice. On March 27th, 2021, we celebrated the hotel 3rd anniversary. It only lasted, I think, the one day of March 27th. Actually, sorry, my mistake. This event is actually still in the hotel to this very day. I have never cleaned it up. And that's because I completely forgot it was there to begin with. So, yeah. I completely forgot. This event is actually still in the hotel today. I don't know how, but it just is. Why do I do this to myself? Thankfully, this next event actually was taken down on the right day, April 1st, because it only lasted for a single day. This next party we have is the water park's 2nd anniversary. It only lasted the one day of March 31st, and this was to obviously celebrate the 2-year anniversary of the water park. The park was still flooded from the anniversary party, and also continued into the April Fool's party, but I added in anniversary decorations around it, which I will admit that was a pretty good idea at the time. Not really much to say about it, so yeah. All there was just some anniversary decorations all over the water park while it was still flooded. And that's really all needs to be said about it. I don't really see anything else I need to tell you guys about. It was just another anniversary party for the water park. So let's move on to the actual next big event. The next party for Legos Island was a combination of two, but it's actually a recreation of one from 2018, the April Fool's / Easter party. It started on April 1st and was originally meant to only go for the weekend of Easter. That being April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. However, I think I may have accidentally left it up for a few days longer. By complete accident. Wait, hold on, I think I have footage that explains this. It starts technically yesterday, April 1st, and will be ending on April 8th. Now you're probably wondering, Lego, didn't you say that this was going to end on April 5th? The answer is yes. That actually that's what I was originally going to do. Sorry I can't speak there, I'm actually pretty tired. Because I've been doing this all day. And other stuff as well, obviously. With that being said, because this took me 2 days to create, why take it down only 3 days later? So I decided to extend it to make it last a week, like all the other April Fool's parties, as you guys know. As you know, those all also lasted an entire week, ending on the 8th, so why not just do that again? Except for 2019. Oh, and by the way, this year's April Fool's party will only last the weekend of April Fool's Day. Just the weekend of that. Since April Fool's Day does land on a Friday this year. It'll only last 3 days. That's because I have another big event that I want to do only a few days later. And then we have the big Easter and Earth Day celebration like a week later. So that's why. But, okay. Yeah, see, I did have an original plan to end it the day after Easter. But, yeah. You can tell where things went there. Like 2018, this party merged both April Fool's Day and Easter together. Seeing as in 2021, they were 3 days apart. Literally. And, well, I don't have to do that again this year because, well, Easter and April Fool's Day are, like, you know, I think 16 days apart this year because Easter is on April 17th for 2022. But either way, all the dimensions from the April Fool's party came back. And like I said earlier, that April Fool's room from the anniversary party stayed. I wasn't joking, it actually stayed. Of course, it was cleaned up after the event was over. But it was still pretty cool. The only new addition to the room was, of course, the banners. And that was pretty much it. But don't worry, guys. There were still tons and tons of Easter rooms. In fact, the entire village was based off of Easter. Literally. Like, the entire freaking village as well. Well, this is the resort, but you get the point. There were still tons of Easter rooms. Which was really good, seeing as I just didn't want this to all just be April Fool's Day themed. Yeah, I kind of made a bit of a mistake in 2018 by having pretty much the entire island be April Fool's and not really much of Easter. Thankfully, 3 years later, I made up for it and put in a ton of Easter rooms. Now, the same thing will apply for the Easter and Earth Day party for 2022. With that being said, of course, on April 4th, we had an Easter egg hunt. Let me pull up that footage. Yep, on April 4th, which was Easter itself, we had the Easter egg hunt to collect all the eggs scattered around the island. And a ton of bunnies were also on the island to celebrate Easter. And that was super freaking awesome at the time. So, yep, we had a cool Easter egg hunt. Yep, there's the footage that this is actually a true thing. See? And that's also proven that that's true. So, yep, see? That's true that there actually was an Easter egg hunt that year. Well, There has been every year, of course, and will obviously be again in 2022. My God, that's a lot of bunnies! Oh, but this one right here I absolutely loved back then, because you actually had to find it right behind the mountain. Nobody would have ever expected to find that, but I did it anyway, because I wanted to be creative for once. Oh, wait, sorry, my mistake. I always am! I wasn't joking when I said the entire village was Easter-themed. See? The entire village was Easter-themed. Well, this is still footage. See? I told you I wasn't joking when I said the entire village was Easter-themed. This was the first April Fool's party to not have any April Fool's decorations in the village whatsoever. It was completely Easter-themed. And honestly, I feel proud of that. Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of that chest right there, we actually have a secondary chest now that I'm going to start putting books in. So, yeah. And, well, that's for present day, Legos Island as of right now. So, not really much else to say about this event. Of course, like I said earlier, all the dimensions from 2020 came back as well, which was pretty sweet. That same thing will happen again in 2022, as usual. With that being said, let's move on to the next party. The next party to occur on Legos Island was a mini event, that being the Blacksmith Shop 3rd Anniversary Party. It started on April 14th, and I think ended the day after on the 15th or the 16th, if I remember correctly. But I think it only lasted the one day. Normally all these mini events only last like one day if they're a respective anniversary. Unless it's a really big one like Legos Island. But like usual, the only room decorated was obviously the Blacksmith Shop. And, well, that should already have been obvious, considering the fact that, well, no, it was all about the Blacksmith Shop. Oh yeah, don't worry, all that down here is cleaned up, obviously. Because that was almost a year ago. My God, how has it been almost a year already since all of this? It's insane to believe that already. But the point is, you all get the point. Basically, hold on just one second. There we go, now we got proper footage. So see, this did indeed prove the room was decorated. In a pretty cool way. And, well, that's how it technically looks in the background. Well, hold on just one second. Where is it? There it is! That's how it actually looks in the background. Thank God I finally found the footage. Not much else to say about this event. Of course, the only item available, I think, was a hat, and that was it. Moving on to the actual next big events. Next up, guys, we have a combination of 3 events. The first one being the Earth Day Party, the second one being Operation Wilderness, and finally the third one being the Island Expedition. They all started on April 16th and all came to an end on April 23rd, lasting an entire week. Fun fact, Operation Wilderness was meant to originally occur on April 23rd and end the 28th. And the Earth Day Party would have been the only thing going on from April 16th to the 23rd. And then the Island Expedition came out of completely nowhere. After I thought of all of these 3 ideas, I thought, why not just merge all 3 of them together and hold them in the week of the Earth Day Party? This was also the first time that the Island Expedition and Earth Day parties were both respectively at nighttime. But this is also the first time that Operation Wilderness was not just completely fully in the dark. This time, we actually added night vision to make it a lot cooler and more interesting. Honestly, this has to be one of my personal favorite Earth Day parties for one reason. I think this is the most epic Earth Day party in terms of decoration that I think I have ever done for Legos Island. At least so far. I don't know how in the absolute heck I'm going to be able to top this off this year in 2022. I mean, just look at it. It's that freaking cool. I mean, seriously, look at this. It's seriously incredible how much was put in. Yeah, you see the effort here? I don't even know how I'm going to top off last year's. This was incredible. And I'm actually glad I merged all 3 of them together. The one reason is just so I can get them all out of the way for the month. And then I realized that kind of worked. Because after this event ended, we actually had another mini event. But we'll get to that later. Aside from the Earth Day party, this was also, I think since 2018, to have the least amount of decorations put into the Earth Day party. I think this is the second Earth Day party to have the least amount of decorations. Now, this is mainly because Operation Wilderness and the Island Expedition were both going on at the exact same time alongside the Earth Day party. So it would have made sense. Speaking of those two, Operation Wilderness. This was the first one to take place outside of February, and would also be the last one for 2 years, as I have made the clear decision to not hold Operation Wilderness in 2022, because I feel I just need a year off to come up with a more extreme idea, because I was starting to run out of ideas at the time. But at this Operation Wilderness, I think we had a pretty cool idea. So, the plan was, Evil Sheet Leader went into the wilderness and destroyed all of the wilderness challenges, as you could have clearly seen here. This was huge. Every single wilderness challenge that we first explored in February of 2019, and also went to get all the beacons back up in 2020's Operation Wilderness. Yeah, all of them were destroyed. Legit, 100% destroyed. And our mission was to fix all of the challenges, just so we could also save the following dogs, known as, well, Splash, River, and Rover, plus the cat from Legos Island Summer 2020. I still need a name for that cat right now as of recording this. I've been trying to think of a name for like 2 years now. Oh boy. But Operation Wilderness, my god, I don't even know. But that was a pretty fun event at the time. And well, we're still not done. We still have one more event to talk about. And you know what that third one is, right? The Island Expedition, of course. Makes sense. So yeah, with that being said, the Island Expedition, everybody. And it also used pretty much the same decorations as the Earth Day party. This was amazing. This was obviously the first Island Expedition to take place fully at night, and it truly proves that. And our mission was pretty much the exact same thing as the last Island Expedition in 2019, but the difference was that it was for a completely different reason. We still had to collect items on the 3 islands from 2019. However, the difference was that on each island, we had to collect items related to events that would occur in May 2021. And those 3 events we'll get to later, after the next event that we'll go to. So yeah, this was awesome. I don't know if it was any better than the previous Island Expedition. Either way though, at least this time it was a little bit different, seeing as it was based off of 3 things instead of 1. Whereas the first Island Expedition 2019 was based off of Operation Dome, since it was close coming at the time. Yep, since it was coming pretty quickly at the time, like as this event was going on. And yeah, at least back in 2019 that was. In 2021, we actually had a good period of time before the actual event related to it was going to come out. The free event. Yep, the Icelands were found again, but this was actually I think the 3rd time this entire year in 2021 that we were at the Icelands. No, wait, sorry, the 4th time in this entire year that we were at the Icelands. The first time being for Operation Meltdown, Mission 5, then the Mission 7 of Operation Meltdown, then what else was it? I think that was it. Oh, wait, we did actually come here for the end of the Operation Wilderness finale. Where we, battled the Evil Sheet Leader. Okay, so we came here for a good amount of times during this year. So with that being said, while all 3 of these events were fantastic, there's not much else for me to say. Let's move on to the next event, which is a mini event. I got so many mini events this year, dang it! Oh, and here's the war with Evil Sheet Leader on the Icelands, proving I wasn't actually joking about the war actually being at the Icelands. Just thought I'd mention. The next event to occur on the island was a mini event, that being the Great Storm of 2021. It started on April 23rd and ended May 1st. However, unlike the previous great storm of the island, there actually was phases during this event. While the island, well, just where the island would get flooded as the rainstorm went on. Since this rainstorm went on for way longer as the one in 2019, that gave the rain more time to flood the island. And who the heck caused this storm, you may ask? Oh, come on! It was none other than Master Evil Anchors himself! Dang it, why does he like to mess with me? So yeah, basically, same thing as the 2019 rainstorm, except there's no construction laying around. And like I said, this went for way longer. 8 days to be exact. Oh, you know exactly what could happen in 8 days at the island. Every 2 days, starting on April 25th, because the rain was here for so long, the island would continue to get flooded. And I'm not joking, that's serious. Yeah, the island continued to get flooded every 2 days as the storm went on. And this eventually led into the first May event, which we'll get to right after this. But let's just say, if you thought phase 1 was bad, where it was just a tiny bit of water all around the island, no! Oh no, it got way worse over the next few days after that. Speaking of, yeah! More water came. This was 2 days later on April 27th. This time the island truly was getting flooded. It proved that this was not a joke. At the time, unlike the Prehistoric Party, we actually knew what was actually coming out of this. We'll get to that in a minute. But yep, as the days went on, even more flooded only 2 days after the first phase on April 25th. Oh, you really thought that was bad? Ha! That's nothing compared to phase 3. Yeah, at this point, there was no escape. We pretty much were underwater at this point. On April 29th, 2021, it eventually turned into this. Yeah, there was no escape at this point. Yeah, at this point, pretty much the entire island was flooded. And, well, it did get worse once the actual first event of May started. Just a tiny bit more. But at this point, the island was pretty much completely flooded. And oh my god, if this ever happens again, I don't know how I'll feel. But either way, it was insane at the time. Well, there's not really anything else to say about this because pretty much 2 days after Phase 3 came out, the actual event revolving around it did come out on May 1st. And of course, what possibly could be held because of all this water here? Come on! It was too obvious! The underwater expedition, of course! It looked a little too obvious. But my lord, guys, let me just say right now, this had to be my favorite underwater expedition of all time. Purposely because of how the island looked. And this underwater expedition truly proved we were actually underwater. Yeah, no, unlike all of the other underwater expeditions where the island was just randomly flooded, but not completely. No, this was legit an actual official underwater expedition. It started on May 1st and ended on the 8th. This was the first mission-based event of May out of 3. Yes, May was another mission-based month, but for only the first 3 weeks, aka the first 21 days of May. Now, as per usual, the underwater expedition, well, you know the deal now. We obviously had to unflood the island via the underwater machine. Oh, speaking of that actually, by going down to the underwater room during this party, as you could have clearly noticed during the party, Master Evil Unkers took apart the entire underwater machine and scattered all the pieces around the island that was flooded. And my lord, it took a while to find them all, but either way, it was incredible. By finding all of the pieces to reconnect the machine itself, as time went on, due to this, the island kept getting more unflooded, which meant less sunk into the ocean. And it was all by reconnecting all the sea lantern blocks back onto the machine where they were back when the machine was originally built in 2018. This actually is a very similar concept to what happened in Operation Lego's Island 2019 Mission 5, where I had to rebuild that entire machine myself after Evil Cluck destroyed it originally. So this kind of follows the exact same premise, except this time I didn't have to go looking for the pieces. I could just have instantly done it. But that was back in 2019. This time I actually had to look for the pieces around the island. And like I said here, as you can see by the footage, the water disappeared because that part of the island was unflooded. So you get the idea. But my lord though, exploring the underwater themed island was one of the most epic part of this event. Well, the most epic parts. There we go. Yeah, seriously. The underwater island looked freaking awesome. Sadly, we are not having another underwater expedition in 2022 due to the fact that Operation Lego's Island will be going on during the time that it's normally held. I know we could have done it in a different month, but I also just felt like taking this year off. Also because I feel, just like Operation Wilderness, I'm kind of starting to run out of ideas to make them interesting. So I'll take this year off to see if I can think of anything cool that we could do next year. With all that being said, that's all this event has to offer. Moving on. Oh wait, sorry guys, I forgot to mention about the battle during the end of this. Of course, on Mission 7, May 7th to be exact, we had to battle Master Evil Lingers in the underwater corruption hole. You know, the corruption hole that was filled with water. And we had to fight a ton of underwater mobs, pretty similarly to how we did in the 2020 underwater expedition, exactly a year prior on May 7th, 2020. Except, I think it was against, I think Evil Cluck. Or something. But the point is, this time, and that was in the underwater room. This time it was again in the underwater corruption hole. And we had to battle Master Evil Lingers there. And I wasn't joking about that. Here's proof. Yeah, for some reason Master Evil Lingers went a little nuts and made a few clones of himself. Okay, a lot. Now we can move on. Just thought I'd mention this before I get comments saying I forgot to add this in. Because I know I was probably going to get some comments saying that I forgot to add this in, so yeah, there we go. Just needed to add this in before I get comments saying I forgot. You're welcome to anyone who was probably about the comments saying I forgot. Next up, we had the Medieval Party of 2021. It started on May 8th and ended on the 15th. This was the third Medieval Party to be held on the island. So that was pretty cool. Now, although I have no Medieval Party scheduled for 2022, I'm still trying to figure out when do I actually want to hold that. Either way, it was held in May in 2021. This time, an Ender Dragon took over the island. Specifically, the one that was in the sky. And, I mean, specifically, wait, where the heck is it? Where is it? Where's the footage that proves? Okay, I can't find it. But either way, you get the point. An Ender Dragon took over the island. Sorry about all that silence there. But yep, the island was once again decorated in a medieval theme for the medieval party, as you would have expected. I think choosing the end bricks was honestly a pretty cool idea. It made it feel like more like a gold-themed medieval kingdom, pretty much. At least design-wise, for all the rooms. Which I truly think was a good idea. And also the gold medieval banners was also pretty freaking sweet. So I'm not gonna lie about that. That was pretty freaking sweet at the time. Okay, seriously, can I please get footage of the Ender Dragon? Jeez, finally! Yep, the Ender Dragon was above the medieval park, actually. Literally. The Ender Dragon was literally above the medieval park. And yes, that is actually my cursor in real time, circling around it. Not in the actual footage. Nope, that's actually my cursor. Oh, hold on. Got a loading segment. Okay, you get the point, though. Island looked pretty freaking awesome in this party. Now, the quests. And yes, here's proof that the Ender Dragon was actually indeed above the medieval park. Literally. Like, literally right above the medieval park. That's proof. Yep. They were literally above the medieval park, the Ender Dragon, which is actually pretty iconic. And here is where the quests were located. They were located in the back room of the medieval park. Basically where that battle arena normally is. And those quests are obviously still down there today and will be reopened during the LEGO Island 5th anniversary party, and then later on in this year's actual medieval party whenever I have a time to, hold that event. So, yeah. Now, with that being said, the quests themselves. Oh boy. Quests were pretty freaking awesome. Literally. All of these quests were so cool. We got to figure out some pretty cool puzzles. And actually, at the end of the puzzle, specifically, like literally at the end of the puzzle, or at least just at the end of every single quest, at least quests 1 through 5, we were able to, blow up an ender crystal to weaken the ender dragon. Yep, we were able to specifically blow up an end crystal to weaken the ender dragon. So it would be much easier for us to defeat him on the last mission. And, the fight was a lot harder than I thought. Going back into this, I actually recently rewatched all the missions. Just to see if I was actually right before talking about this party. Yeah, I actually had to rewatch every single mission prior to filming this video just to make sure I get everything right when I talk about this party. And thankfully I did that, so now I know what to tell you guys about. Yeah, sometimes I might need to do that if I ever talk about these in the future. And, in this case, that would be now. With that being said, and also there were tunnels that would send you directly back to the actual, medieval park arena area. Basically back to the quest entrance. Every single day of the event, there were new quests. And those were awesome. I really liked how I designed them. That was a maze, by the way, back there, for those who remember. And there were so many awesome quests in this party. So that's awesome, right? So yes, every single day of the party we had new quests, which was pretty awesome at the time. And that's pretty much it. We eventually battled the Ender Dragon, which was pretty freaking sweet at the time. Fun fact, during this party, I was actually away in Tennessee. I'm not joking. That is when I was in Tennessee, is when missions 2 through 6 were done. And I had to pre-record those missions in advance because I would be away in Tennessee at the time. And that's another little fun fact during this party. Yeah, I was away at that time in Tennessee, so I had to record missions 2 through 6 in advance and schedule them for their set days while I was away that week of the party. So that is another little fun fact. On May 14th, we battled the Ender Dragon and we saved the kingdom once and for all. Moving on to the last event of May prior to some mini events. At least the last big event. Oh yeah, let's just say, beating the Ender Dragon during this party was also satisfying as heck. Not gonna lie. Oh boy, felt satisfying. Even though I've defeated the Ender Dragon millions of times in my older worlds back in the past, 8 to 9 years of playing Minecraft. It's always felt satisfying every time. But this was the second time I did it on LEGO's Island. Just what I mentioned. On the final day of the medieval party, May 14th, we actually had the 500 episode celebration. Fun fact, the video where I showcased the medieval party was actually the 500th episode of LEGO's Island. I completely forgot to mention that until now. Sorry about that. But we did have the 500 episode party. It started on May 14th and ended on the 17th. So it occurred during the final day of the medieval party and the first 2 days of our next event that we're about to talk about. So yep, as usual, we obviously had items from the last 100 episodes prior to hitting 400. Basically the last 100 episodes after hitting 400. And fun fact, speaking of milestones, this was the only episode milestone party we had in 2021. By the way, speaking of milestones, we are about to hit the 600 LEGO's Island episode on February 4th, 2022. And we're also going to be hitting the 700th episode of LEGO's Island on Halloween. I'm not joking, which is actually, fun fact, the exact same day we hit 400 in 2020. Just thought I'd bring that up for anyone curious. And yes, how do I know that? I calculated all the episodes from February 4th, 2022, all the way to when we would hit 700, and it landed on Halloween. Just thought I'd mention. Anyway, back to the point. I just thought I'd bring that up real quick for anyone generally curious. So yes, as I said, items from the last 100 episodes after hitting 400 episodes. It was super awesome. It related to all the events from the end of 2020 through the first half of 2021. And it was satisfying as heck. Of course, we'll have the same deal here for 600 on February 4th. So, oh my god, what's with the load time right there? Give me a sec, guys. Oh yeah, more on the medieval party. Thought I just mentioned that. There's not really much for me to say about this milestone party. So, let's move on to the next actual event, which is the last big one for May. The next party to occur on LEGO's Island was the Future Party. Originally, like the Prehistoric Party, I kept this party a surprise until the update video prior to the event coming out. I kept it a surprise for a while as I thought it would seem a lot cooler that way. Eventually, on May 12th, 2021, it was eventually revealed to be the the Future Party. And then it eventually started on May 15th. Speaking of which, it started on May 15th and ended on the 22nd. So all 3 mission-based events for May was only a week long. This is so I would have enough downtime between that event and LEGO's Island Summer starting on June 1st. We will get to that later though. Either way though, this party, just like the Prehistoric Party, was freaking amazing! Seriously, I think I truly did an incredible job of designing the island like the future. Speaking of which, if you're curious to know how far into the future we actually went, in this party, we traveled to March 27th, 2027. Well, I think I said March 25th, 2027. Let's hope I said that. Which is 6 years into the future. Which, in that real time, is actually the 10th anniversary of LEGO's Island. So yes, we traveled to the 10th anniversary day of LEGO's Island, again, which was March 25th of 2027. Which again is exactly 10 years after I created LEGO's Island. The main reason we traveled here is because I thought it would seem pretty interesting. Although it wasn't. No, Evil Sea Leader decided to ruin it. But I couldn't blame him because that's 6 years in the future. Who knows what the island's gonna look like in around 5 years. Yeah, 5 years from now actually, because now it's 2022. But my god, Future looked pretty freaking awesome for it being the Future Party. Yep, for it being March 25th of 2027, my god, the island looked awesome. And even we had a few battles in the sky very similarly to Operation LEGO's Island. And they were just as satisfying as what we normally would do in Operation LEGO's Island. They were extremely satisfying. And we had some pretty epic battles. The first one on May 15th was a battle against ghasts. And then the second one on May 18th was a battle against giant zombies. Or actually, sorry, well, that was originally meant to be the case, and then it didn't work out, so I did creepers instead. And yes, I did creepers, but I did them on a mountain. I did not care about getting blown up, so that's at least good. And the third one was obviously a battle against Evil Sea Leader. So that was pretty cool at the time. Did I mention the medieval quests included a puzzle, maze, targets, arrows, changing Ender Dragon banners to gold banners, Enderman battle, and the Ender Dragon battle. I forgot to mention that while talking about the medieval party. Sorry about that. I forgot to go in detail with it. Although I didn't really do that for the Underwater Expedition either, so why did I even bother? But either way, My god, I still cannot get over how freaking epic the island looked during this party. My god, it looked epic. My god, I just can't stop talking about how freaking awesome the island looked. This had to be my greatest work yet with future time periods. And this was the first one to go into the future that wasn't Operation Nichols Island. This was its own event, and I still did fantastic. Even the battles felt fantastic too. Now, stuff that obviously did get blown up was eventually fixed later on. Well, except for the mountain that we actually had that creeper battle. Yeah, that I don't know if I'll ever fix. But the rest I did on any places that wasn't that one small mountain next to the tallest mountain. Point is, this event was extremely satisfying. It was a very fun time. And, well, the battle with Evil Sheet Leader was also pretty fun. Oh yeah, speaking of which, when we got to the, March 25th, 2027, Evil Sheet Leader closed off the portal for us to get back to the present. And it would not open back up until we had defeated him on May 21st. On May 21st, after we defeated him, the portal reopened, and on May 22nd, we went back to the present for the rest of the year. Just in time for Legos Island Summer 2021. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. Just got a few mini events to go through. But first, let me go over that beautiful battle against Evil Sheet Leader. This battle was insane. One of the most hardcore battles we have had in a long time. It played out very similarly to how Operation Nichols Island battles would play out. Except this time, instead of it being Evil Cluck, it was Evil Sheet Leader. And unlike that, we actually had a Bedrock themed battle. Like, the battle station was Bedrock themed. And that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, unlike past Operation Nichols Island things, we couldn't actually blow up the battlefield because it was bedrock. I will admit, that was a pretty smart move for Evil Sheet Leader to make the battlefield bedrock after he probably realized Evil Cluck's mistakes of him not deciding to do bedrock. So Evil Sheet Leader got pretty dang smart, I will admit. He made sure that we couldn't blow him up or the battlefield itself. Because, well, I guess he thought that would have been way too simple on us. So good job, Evil Sheet Leader. You actually did something that Evil Cluck didn't think of. Beautiful. Now, maybe Evil Cluck will probably try that eventually. Oh, wait, that's right. We're not even going to be battling him in Operation Nichols Island this year, dang it. We're going to be doing Master Evil Workers instead. Kinda forgot about that. And that's for this year's upcoming Legos Island, Operation Legos Island on April 26th through May 5th. Either way, like I said, future party, fantastic. I don't know if we're ever going to bring this back again, maybe next year in 2023, but either way, I had no intentions of bringing this event back unless you guys liked it. And, well, that's all that needs to be said. Like I said, on May 22nd, we made our way back to the present just in time for Legos Island Summer 2021. But again, like I said, we got a few mini events to go through. Let me take care of those real quick right now. To start off on May 28th, 2021, it was the 2-year anniversary of the Cave of Adventures. It only lasted the one day of May 28th. And it pretty much looked exactly the same as the last anniversary, except that was new right here. Yeah, that room right there was new. Well, at least the cakes being there. Yeah, that was new. I think that was the only thing that was new about this. There really wasn't much to say about this anniversary party. We did find the secret room again, though. That was a nice little touch. I guess that's the only other thing that looked different. But either way, it pretty much played out the exact same way as the first anniversary of the Cave of Adventures. Which, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure that's probably how all of them are going to play out, let's be honest. Now, with that being said, obviously, the only item available, I think it was only just a hat this time. Yeah, I think it was only just a hat this time. I don't remember, but I definitely know there was a hat. I think it was just a hat. And no banner. I don't think, right? No, there was no banner. Okay. I was curious. But yeah, we did get this room back. That's another difference. And that's all that needs to be said about this party. Let's move on to the next mini-event. The next mini-event to take place was on May 30th, 2021 for the Lodge 3rd anniversary. It lasted the one day of May 30th, and of course, like the last two anniversaries, the Lodge was decorated in random colors, and cakes all around the Lodge to celebrate. A little fun fact, by the way, Memorial Day is actually on the exact same day as the Lodge anniversary this year in 2022. That's really cool. Speaking of Memorial Day, we'll get to that pretty much right now. We'll admit though, I think it did a pretty good job decorating the Lodge for its anniversary, even though I think it's pretty much in the exact same style as the past anniversaries, except for the, other rooms that were not there when the Lodge had its previous anniversary. Yeah, except with the extra rooms. Yeah, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. Extra. There we go. Oh yeah, why did it take me forever to look that up? But yep, that was pretty much it for the Lodge anniversary. It basically played out the exact same way as the previous one, just with all those extra rooms, giving even more decoration to the event. Next up, we have our final mini event before the big Legos Island summer event. Oh boy, that one's gonna take a while to talk about. Let's hope not, though. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this has to be my personal favorite Memorial Day party we have had yet. Well, that's if this year's in 2022 isn't any better, considering it's on the same day as the Lodge anniversary. But let's just say, oh frick, this was incredible. You're probably thinking, why the heck was this incredible, you're probably wondering. I'll tell you now. Let's just say this Memorial Day party landed on the exact same day we actually went to for Operation Legos Island 2019's finale. On the Operation Legos Island 2019 finale, we went to May 31st, 2021, which was 2 years into the future. And then around nearly 2 years later, I finally realized that was actually Memorial Day of 2021. And then it hit me. We messed up that day in present day. We actually messed it up. We legit messed up May 31st, 2021. And something insane happened during this. Well, this is playing footage from that video just to make a point here. The point is, what the heck happened 2 years later on the actual day? Oh yeah, me and Evil Cluck, we messed up. Yeah, you see, we messed up big time. So not only was the island decorated in a Memorial Day party themed, as you would expect, yes, all of the decorations were decolored versions of the construction of Legos Island Summer 2021. Now, what was really cool about this is that items from the existing time period of May 31st, 2021 from Operation Legos Island 2019, not only the items, but some rooms coinciding with the time period, in my opinion, were actually here. Yes, they were actually here. That's right. The rooms, or at least a majority of the rooms from that time period, actually were here in this party because it was the exact same day that we went to in 2019, proving that having that time battle should never have happened because me and Evil Cluck messed up the present and existing rooms from that time period came here due to us having that time war, which now should not have happened because of this reason. Either way, though, it was extremely cool seeing these rooms again, just because we messed up time. And this is the only time we have ever messed up time so far in the Legos Island timeline. I'm surprised the island was not corrupted again after this happening. Oh, and thank God it wasn't. Because, oh boy, that was insane. So all of the Operation Legos Island 2019 armor was here just because we messed up the timeline. I can't believe something that insane actually happened on Memorial Day. Yeah, it was mainly originally meant to just be a traditional medieval party with everything, Memorial Day party with everything black and white. No. Because Memorial Day landed on the same day we did the finale in 2019 for Operation Legos Island, we just had to take advantage of what originally happened in that time period 2 years prior. Of course, this party only was on for May 31st, 2021, and of course ended on June 1st, which was the start of Legos Island Summer. Oh, Legos Island Summer. Are we ready for this one? Legos Island Summer. I am very, very glad we finally got to this point. I am so glad. It's finally time, guys. Let's do this. Legos Island Summer 2021. Oh my god. This has to be my favorite Legos Island Summer of all time. This summer, we went around the world across the island. It started on June 1st and ended September 1st as usual. And of course, going forward with this year's in 2022. Except this year we're back to the traditional summer theme. In 2021, I wanted to try something new. And it succeeded and became my favorite Legos Island Summer of all time. With my second favorite being 2019. Literally. With that being said, this was so much fun. Throughout the summer, we traveled around the world, as the island was decorated as a variety of countries. Starting off with the US, of course, and ending off with Hawaii, which is still technically a part of the US, but the point remains. We also traveled to countries like Switzerland, which was awesome. Then Australia. My god, that was awesome. That was the most decorated room at the time. Then the lodge was designed as Africa. The Blacksmith was designed as London in the UK. The resort was designed as Jamaica, which was awesome. One of my personal favorite rooms on the World Tour, by the way, because I had actually been there before. The theme park was designed as Japan, which, fun fact, was actually where the 2021 Tokyo Olympics were held. Yes, this summer actually saw the return of the Olympics after 3 years. That was a fun time. Technically, it was actually the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, but it actually occurred in 2021. The pathway leading to the campsite was designed as Mexico, one of the least decorated countries because I never got a chance to actually finish it. But it was still cool, because I also was there in real life as well back in the day. The dog park was designed like Buffalo, New York, which, fun fact, that also came back in that summer of 2021. And it was one of the main reasons why I even created it in the first place. All of these houses are still here to this very day and will be reused again in Legos Island Summer 2022 and all Legos Island Summers going forward. It was just so cool seeing all these houses. I will admit, a very, very fun time in the World Tour. In real life, it was great to be back at these places, and also recreating them on Legos Island just to celebrate the return of them after 2 years was honestly a very smart move, and is why they're obviously being reused again in 2022's Legos Island Summer, again alongside all Legos Island Summers going forward after this point. The campsite itself was transformed into the ranch, and the ranch building itself stayed after. However, the rest that was there didn't. Okay, never mind. The rock tower also stayed pretty much after. But either way, this was also recreated due to the fact that I went back to the ranch at the time. However, remembering that it would be the last time I would ever go to the ranch, in real life, by the way, obviously. Whereas the Buffalo house, I obviously can go back to again this year in 2022, since that's the only returning location to still be here alongside the familiar location. So yes, the campsite itself was designed like the ranch, and I did keep the rock tower, the recreated rock tower, after to always remember it for the rest of eternity, since I'll never be going back to the ranch ever again as of this past year, which is still very, very unfortunate. In Legos Island Summer 2022, I have no clue how I'm going to design this room. Maybe design it as the location we'll be going to this year in replacement of it. That'll work. The other side of the island was designed like Grand Turk, which is funny, or just at least a fun fact there, because I've actually been there before in real life. So that was cool. The bottom of the tallest mountain was designed like China. The top of the tallest mountain was designed like Mount Everest. And that would have been obvious. And lastly, as I said before, the village was designed as Hawaii, with the port being designed like the United States. This Legos Island summer marked the first and most likely only time that we visited the cave the entire summer, due to the fact that it was designed like an airport to travel to all of the respective countries that we went to throughout the 3 months of Legos Island summer. We will probably never use the cave this much ever again during a Legos Island summer, so if you have not watched Legos Island Summer 2021, please go watch that if you haven't already. It was epic. With all that being said, it ended September 1st, as I said earlier. And with that being said, now that we got that gigantic event out of the way, let's move on to the next event, which is another mini event. God dang it, how many mini events do we have on the island this year? On September 5th, 2021, we celebrated the 1-year anniversary since I created the barn related to all the horses that we have on the island. And, well, at first, I never really expected to make this event, but I did anyway just to make sure I made sure to have anniversaries about everything on the island. So, I added it in, thankfully. With all that being said, there wasn't really much in this event. The barn was basically, all it was basically just decorated with cakes. And, of course, a number 1 inside to celebrate the anniversary. Oh, never mind, also on the outside too, I guess. With that being said, that really was it. It was just decorated with cakes, and a number 1 on the inside and outside of the barn. Oh boy, we've collected a lot more horses since then. Okay, maybe not really that many. There was only 1 item available, the hat. That's really all there needs to be said about this event. Next up, we have another mini event, dang it! How many of these do we have on the island this year, man? My god, I feel like a majority of this year was mini events. Wait a minute. It was! Next up was the Labor Day party of 2021. It was on for only 1 day of September 6th, 2021. And, well, like the previous Labor Day parties, the island was decorated in a Labor Day theme. Well, just party decorations overall. I thought of this just because the last 2 Labor Day parties had this as well. But of course, the colors were obviously different, just so I didn't copy and paste like previous years. And it was really cool, I will admit. I really am planning to do this once again on September 5th, 2022. Yep, obviously another Labor Day event will come on September 5th of 2022, which is also the exact same day as the 2-year anniversary of the horse barn. So hey, just like Memorial Day, we get 2 things in 1 day. Beautiful. Oh boy, but that's for 2022, however. I will admit though, this was a pretty cool Labor Day party. I think this was one of the most decorated Labor Day parties. This was the first Labor Day party to have the most decorations since 2019, because I think 2020 so far has had the least amount of decorations thus far. I don't know how many there are going to be this year, but we'll see. We'll see. Of course, I'll plan that out later on as we get closer. Either way, it was still a really fun Labor Day party. We did have a hat and a banner available like the last 2 Labor Day parties. And, well, yeah, there were definitely a lot of rooms decorated. My god. But yeah, I will admit, really fun Labor Day party. I did not think I would come up with this many cool decorations. Here, looking back at this footage, I did not think I was going to come up with this many cool decorations during the event. Not gonna lie, I never thought of that. So, yep, it was just more decorations than 2020. That's all. There's not really much else to say about this. Let's move on to the next event. Thankfully, though, prior to the theme park anniversary, there was no big event prior to the theme park anniversary. I thought I'd mention that real quick before we head over there. Unlike 2020, where we actually had the Evil Cluck versus Evil Sheet Leader War. Nope, we can just head straight to the theme park anniversary now. I'm not joking. Ah, yes. The theme park 3rd anniversary / fair of 2021. It started on September 15th and ended on the 21st. Like the past few anniversaries for the theme park, plus obviously the fair, the theme park, and alongside, of course, the rest of the island, was decorated in a fair theme. And this time, instead of just bringing all of the games back out, like 2019, and unlike 2020, no, this time, and by the way, I don't think there was any silver ticket requirement this time. I don't think, at least, if I remember correctly. One thing I know is that there were no roller coasters at this event, unlike 2020. So that was definitely something to say. This also had to be the most decorated fair party because of the beacons. Oh yeah, that was one of the games. So, instead of roller coasters around the island like 2020, we actually had new exclusive games just exclusive to this party. And it was so freaking cool. We had the, if you just saw there, the trampoline one, which was pretty cool at the time. So, yep, basically we had the trampoline game, if you saw right there. Yep, the trampoline game right there. What you had to do was go up that huge tower, jump on the trampoline, and try and catch all the tickets. That was pretty cool. What else did we have in this party? Give me a sec. Oh yeah, that's right. We had digging spots exclusive to the fair, and we could find old fair items via the digging spots at the village. And I think there was one more game. Let me find that. Oh yeah, that's right. We had a cornhole themed game at the Buffalo House, at the dog park, but with a twist, having tridents and snowballs instead of, actual beanbags, since they don't actually exist in Minecraft. So instead, we had to use snowballs and tridents. Honestly, I had way more fun doing it with tridents. And it actually worked surprisingly well. Yep, and we also had a scoreboard over there. And that was pretty freaking awesome at the time. So yep, that was another little key feature with this party. So we had 3 exclusive games exclusive to this party. And fun fact, the cornhole game will be back in Legos Island Summer 2022 once we're actually at the Buffalo House in Legos Island Summer 2022. So we'll actually be able to play the cornhole game in Legos Island Summer 2022 once we're actually at that house in real time, in real life, during the New York trip 2022 this summer. So that's a little fun twist. Right, nice, right? And one of the main reasons this is even possible is because we have an actual cornhole game in real life in that very location. If you saw in 2019, you saw 2 cornhole boards that looked like the American flag, and that's what exactly these represented in Minecraft. What I built here for the fair. Yeah, those I actually do know are in real life. The cornhole boards that look like the American flag. Yeah, we actually have those in that location in real life, so I recreated them here. And I'll do the same when Legos Out in Summer comes out this year for that. I just thought I'd mention just in case anyone was curious. Besides those 3 games, the fair pretty much played out exactly the same like the other 2. Nothing else to say about this. Next up, guys, was the Rainbow Party of 2021. This was the first Rainbow Party in 2 years to occur since 2019. It started on September 21st and ended on the 28th, as that sign literally said right there. So, as you would expect, like the previous Rainbow Party, the island was decorated in a rainbow theme, but obviously completely different because it's been 2 years. And of course, I've gotten a lot more creative since the last Rainbow Party that occurred in 2019. So obviously, it looked completely different. The beacons from the fair party, stayed even after the event ended, which in my opinion was pretty freaking awesome. This party, oh boy, I will admit, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think this was way better than the 2019 Rainbow Party in terms of decoration. The reason why I say that is just because there's just a lot more decorations to see here. It's just a lot more colorful than the previous Rainbow Party. Whereas that one was all about the Rainbow Cloud theme, which, I'll admit, that was cool back then, but I feel this is way better. It had nothing to do with the Rainbow Cloud theme like we've always been doing with the lab Rainbow parties. Oh yeah, speaking of the lab, go check out the Saturday stories for all lab events of 2021 after this if you have not already. I'd really appreciate it. With all that being said, however, there were daily items every day of the event, which, in my opinion, was really, really cool. Okay, so, yeah, that was pretty awesome, right? My god, I freaking love this event. Now, although we don't have one this year in 2022, if you guys actually really want me to bring this back again in 2022, I'll try and find, just like the medieval party, I will try and find a good time in the year. Maybe it could be one of these surprise party votes, for one of the options in the surprise party if you guys want. Comment down below if you want that, by the way. Because it could be one of the options for the surprise party in May, alongside the medieval party. And then I'm going to have to think of at least one more option. Which, actually, I think I know what that will be. Either way, comment down below if you want this in the surprise party vote option. If you want this to be one of the options in the surprise party. If you want me to bring this party back this year. Because I don't have it set anywhere because I didn't know if I wanted to bring it back or not. But now I really feel like doing that now. Either way, back to the point of 2021's Rainbow Party. Still though, Village looked freaking awesome. One of my personal favorites. But the port is probably my favorite room in the party. One of the main reasons is just because of how much color there truly is. Oh wait, sorry, my mistake. This entire event had so much color to put into it. And it truly did show, because I truly think a lot was put into this, as you could have clearly tell back then. If you watch the original video back when this came out originally, you could truly see how much care was actually put into this. Obviously, all the items were completely different, so that was pretty cool at the time. And yeah. Oh yeah, I think this was the first Rainbow Party, I think, to not have my cave decorated. So that was a bit different. Okay, I completely forgot about that. I haven't watched this footage in forever, so I completely forgot the cave wasn't even decorated in this party, surprisingly. So, yeah, with that being said, not much else to say about this party. It was definitely better than the 2019 one in terms of decoration. But with that being said, let's move on to the next event. Okay, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Can you guess what's coming up? Another mini-event! I freaking swear, guys. Almost this entire year was almost all mini-events. It at least seems like it is. Oh, boy. Here we go again. Here we have the fall event of 2022. For the first time, it was outside of the lodge entirely. And was actually scattered across the island. Completely this time. And that was awesome, right? I know. For the first time ever, it was actually scattered across the island and not just in the lodge. Anyway, basically, any room that was not decorated for the Rainbow Party eventually was decorated for this party. And fun fact, some of these room designs were either changed a little for the Halloween party, specifically the two small mountains, and altered to look a little more Halloween themed. At least it was. And specifically what I am talking about includes, well, you guessed it, this. Yep, this was the only room from the event that actually stayed, but was altered to look more Halloween-like in the actual event once that came out. Which, in my opinion, that was pretty awesome. Will admit though, guys, all of these rooms were awesome. And I truly think I did way better than the previous fall mini event in 2019. Technically, I think there was a fall mini event in 2020, but I think it was only just pumpkin decorations across the fair. I think that was all I did, if I remember correctly. Or that might have only been 2018. I don't know. I'll have to go rewatch the 2020 events video. Either way, actually will do that probably after this. But the point is, anyway, these rooms looked awesome during the fall mini event. I truly think I did a great job with these rooms. The items available obviously included a hat and a banner, and I think also pumpkins as well, if I remember correctly. Either way, all these rooms look seriously fantastic. I truly think I did a great job with all the rooms. Probably one of the best fall mini events I have ever done yet on this island. And with all of that being said, that is really it for this event. It started on September 22nd and ended on the 28th, which is basically the same day that the Rainbow Party ended. Next up, guys, we have Legos Island Halloween 2021. It started on October 1st and ended November 1st, making this the first Legos Island Halloween to last an entire month. And it's also now a new rule going forward in all Legos Island Halloweens going forward as of 2021. It shall now go for the entire month of October rather than only the middle/end of it, like the previous years. This makes more sense as it gives us the entire month for Halloween, and the same is done for Legos Island Christmas, which we'll get to later. In this Legos Island Halloween, the island was designed like a trick-or-treating area. Basically, there were tons of trick-or-treating houses all over the island, and we were able to grab candy from them in the respective candy stations in the respective houses scattered around the island. And that was insanely cool. Now, here's the thing. They weren't just there just to be collected. No, the candies were actually used for items scattered around the island. You needed a certain amount of candy to get all of the items, which came out every 3 days during the events. That was seriously awesome at the time. And, well, what else is there even to say about this? The decorations were also fantastic as well. And yes, I actually did decorate the New York rooms as well, which is awesome. Yep, every room on the island was decorated for Halloween. This was incredible. Now, with all of that being said, however, and yes, literally every house on the island, including the ones that were just set up for the event, all had candy stations, and existing houses on the island also had candy stations, which were incredible at the time. My God, one of the best Legos Island Halloweens. I don't know if this or 2019 was better. I can't even decide. I can't even decide if the 2019, 2020, or 2021 Legos Island Halloweens were better. I don't know which one is. You guys can help me. Comment down below. I just can't even decide which one was better. This one, 2019, or 2021. I really liked all of them, but I just can't decide which one was my personal favorite. So, with all of that being said, seriously, I still cannot get over how creative, I can't even just get over how well I made this event actually work. And fun fact, I actually had this planned for the island for quite a long time prior to actually telling you guys about it. I want to say it's probably since the beginning of the year. After I revealed it in the Zolazop 6th anniversary celebration, I thought, why not bring it to Legos Island as well? At least that was after I made that video. I said to myself off camera, you know what, let's bring it to Legos Island too. And well, what do we get? We get the event itself. And it actually worked. Now for Legos Island Halloween 2022, I am not sure what it is going to be. Now granted, since this year is going to be 5 years since the first ever Legos Island Halloween, I might do something where I might just celebrate that, but also maybe add in a little bit of a twist at the same time to make it interesting. Either way, we'll find out what that is, and I'll try and think of something, and maybe you guys can help me as well. Either way, we still have at least another nearly 8 months until that actually happens. So with that being said, we don't need to worry about that now. So with that being said, as usual, we had a Halloween showdown on the hotel roof against Master Evil Oinkers, and for those curious to know what that looked like, yeah, that's what the Halloween showdown was for 2021. It probably was actually the most hardcore Halloween Showdown on the hotel roof we have had yet. Oh yeah, speaking of hotel, all the hotel challenges were back, at least obviously completely different. So that was pretty sweet at the time. But no, really. We had, yeah, it was a pretty freaking epic battle. I'm not gonna lie about that one. And with that being said, that was pretty much it for Legos on Halloween 2021. Let's move on to the next event. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Before we move on, this is the event that debuted Jack-o'-lantern. There we go. Just needed to mention that before I move on, and hopefully would not have forgotten to say that. Now we can move on for real this time. Oh god, I got one more thing to tell you. On Halloween itself, we had to find 50 cakes that Master Evil Lingers hid across the island. We didn't find all of them, but there was something that did make us find the rest later on. In another event that we'll get to later. Right, now we have a long chain of mini events, so let's get started. The first one being the close shop anniversary. It started on October 10th and only lasted the one day, as per usual. Like the past few close shop anniversaries, the close shop was obviously decorated for its third anniversary, but for the first time ever, it had Halloween decorations alongside it, as the Halloween decorations were already there prior to the anniversary even happening. So that was another cool little twist. Of course, we had another anniversary banner and hat alongside it, alongside another yearbook. Basically the same thing as the last 2 years, except with all the Halloween decorations there now instead, alongside it. Yep, just another ordinary close-up anniversary. Let's move on. The next anniversary celebration for October was, of course, the base 3rd anniversary. It started on October 14th and actually ended the day after on the 15th. Yeah, unlike the 2nd anniversary of the base. No, this actually was legit taken down the day after on the 15th. So I didn't actually leave it up for a whole year this time. Finally! And hopefully that's a thing going forward where I actually don't leave it up for a whole year straight. But yep, the base anniversary, everybody. Holy frick. How has it already been 3 years already? No, wait, sorry, my mistake. How is it this year that it's already going to be 4 years since I created the base? That's going to be nuts in October. Anyway, point is, let's continue. So, just like the close shop anniversary, one of the main differences was that the base was completely dark for its anniversary. It had special lighting, dark lighting for the anniversary. All that was lit was some redstone torches and the candles on top of the cakes spread it across the anniversary. Spread it across the base for the anniversary. That's a better way to say it. And all of the dark lighting actually stayed even after the anniversary ended, which, in my opinion, was pretty freaking awesome. Of course, the cake was in the same room as the last few anniversaries. And believe it or not, I think this is the first base anniversary to have the most rooms decorated during a base anniversary. And I'm not joking. That is 100% legit serious. This is the first base anniversary to have the most amount of rooms decorated, being pretty much the entire base. I believe, at least, that's the case. Wait, was I right about that? I think I was right. I think this has the most rooms decorated. It did, actually, because there were stuff all over the place. There was legit stuff all over the place. Assuming I can find it, of course, in here somewhere. There we go, finally. We finally found some footage. Just waiting for it to load. So, yep, basically the entire base was darkened, making it decorative for not only the base anniversary, but for Halloween as well. Halloween decorations were placed here the day after the anniversary on October 15th, which was pretty cool as well. Not much else to say about this party, but it was nice. It was a nice little change to not have it up for an entire year, unlike the second anniversary. Moving on to our last mini event of the month. And that was, of course, the resort 3rd anniversary. It was on just October 27th, 2021 itself. And of course, like the past few anniversaries for the resort was decorated in a cool anniversary theme. The colors this time were yellow and brown, as you could have clearly seen here. Now, there were multiple banners given out during this party, which was pretty awesome. So it wasn't just a hat and just one banner. No, multiple banners were given out during this party because I thought it would have been pretty cool at the time. So yeah, this was probably one of the most decorated anniversaries we have had yet on the island for the resort. So that was pretty sweet at the time, actually. I'm not going to lie, that was actually pretty dang sweet at the time. We actually had a bit of a difference this time, where there were more items given out and probably the most decorated. While most of the room retained its original Halloween design for 2021, I made sure to add in a few anniversary decorations here and there. With, of course, the cake being made out of a number 3, made out of sandstone, as usual, at least the number 3, as usual. So that was pretty cool at the time. And, of course, I took advantage of a... What? I never took advantage of the cakes having candles on top? Dang, what is wrong with me? But either way, we did again have a few special banners given out. An orange, green, and I believe brown one as well, if I remember correctly. That was pretty cool at the time. So that was pretty fun. That was the last anniversary celebration of the month. And now we can move on to the next event, which is another anniversary. But it's a mainline event of November. You know what we're about to get into. Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. I realized we actually have another mini-event prior to Camp Island. And this one came out of absolutely nowhere, but I did it anyway. On November 3rd, 2021, I held an event that celebrated the 4-year anniversary since my return to Legos Island from 2017, and the 2-year anniversary of Operation Legos Island at the time. The island was themed at night for this celebration, and some hats and items were given out at these 2 respective celebrations in celebration of this party. All of the dogs were also invited to the celebration, so I took all of the dogs out of the pet cemetery in celebration of this big day, as this day did celebrate 2 big things, which was incredible at the time. So yes, with that being said, I cannot believe that all of this happened. Old Operation Legos Island hats were brought back in celebration of this, alongside just an actual hat to celebrate the anniversary of Operation Legos Island itself, alongside also the 4th anniversary of my return to Legos Island, which was a very fun idea at the time. I never really planned on making this event originally in Legos Island, but I thought of the idea just so I'd make sure you guys did not think I would forget about this very special day. Now this year, on the other hand, this year is going to be 5 years since my return to Legos Island, and 3 years of Operation Legos Island. Will I do this event again on November 3rd? You bet! So look out for that on November 3rd, 2022, where I do this event once again for both of their anniversaries. I don't know if this is going to be a yearly thing, but I'll at least do it again one more time this year, just because it was way too much fun the previous year in 2021. So the cake, the number 4 was made out of amethyst for the 4-year anniversary since my return to Legos Island, and the number 2 for 2 years of Operation Legos Island was made out of raw gold, which was pretty cool. The Operation Legos Island cake was a combination of my colors and Evil Cluck's colors. The anniversary for 4 years of me returning to Legos Island was just Legos Island colors itself. And this time, unlike the resort anniversary, I actually took advantage of the candles. And thank God I did. Now, that is all for this event. Now, we can actually move on to Camp Island for real this time. The next event to occur on Legos Island was another combination of 2 events, the Camp Island and the Adventure Party. It started on November 10th and came to an end on November 18th. Both of these events were held for a reason. Number one, Camp Island, as usual, was held to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the campsite on November 10th itself. And the Adventure Party was held to celebrate 3 years of the Jungle Temple, but was also held for another reason alongside it. You guys remember how I said earlier on Halloween when we had to go hunting for the 50 missing cakes by Master Evil Winkers, and I said that we only got like half of them or something? Yeah, that's where the Adventure Party comes in. We have to find all the missing cakes throughout the Adventure Party rooms to put them back in the Jungle Temple to celebrate the 3-year anniversary of the Jungle Temple, which was pretty freaking awesome at the time. And by the way, here is legit proof that I wasn't actually joking about this. This is legit serious. This right here is legit proof that I was not joking, that this was actually a thing. And see, oh no, where did the anniversary cakes go? Master Evil Winkers must have them, as you never completed his 50 missing cake scavenger hunt back on Halloween. So yep, basically all the cakes for the anniversary of the Jungle Temple went missing, and my job was to find them across all the Adventure Party themed rooms. And in my opinion, this was seriously, and I mean legit seriously, I cannot tell you guys how freaking epic all of these rooms looked. Since this was a combination of two, a lot of rooms that normally were not decorated during Camp Island were instead decorated for the anniversary party. For the Adventure Party. This room right here had to be my personal favorite. It was one of the first times besides Halloween that we got to decorate the room. So that was pretty cool at the time. And not really much else to say, in my opinion. So yeah, basically any room that wasn't decorated for Camp Island was basically decorated for this party. Which, in my opinion, were super, super cool. And as for Camp Island, on the other hand, let me go to that now. The campsite was transformed back into the ranch design from LEGO's Island Summer 2021. And the reason why is because it felt very cool at the time. So I thought I'd decide to bring it back just because it felt extremely cool at the time. The only differences include obviously the anniversary colors and the removal of all the summer banners, instead in their place being replaced by the anniversary banners for Camp Island 2021 at the time. And the rock tower stayed even after this. So that was pretty cool as well. And that was pretty much it for Camp Island. There were also some camp-themed activities. Some of them led into the Adventure Party. The following include the Target, Hit the Target game from the Lodge being right next to the Lodge. The second one being the Ring the Bell game from the Lodge being at the tallest mountain. And I think that was it. So those were some two pretty cool camp games. Of course, the island was decorated as a camp once again, and there's proof that I wasn't joking about the Hit the Target game. But yep, as usual, the island was basically just decorated as a campsite, as usual, like the past 3 Camp Islands. It made sense at this point. With all that being said, however, that's pretty much it. So on November 17th, we did get all the cakes back into the Jungle Temple just in time for its anniversary. So that was pretty cool. And we also did defeat Master Evil Winkers in the end. And I'll show you the footage of the fight right now. Alright, so here's the footage of the fight, which obviously took place in the Jungle Temple anniversary. Well, just the Jungle Temple boss room. That's what I mean to say. And yes, here's proof that all the cakes did come back at the end of the Adventure Party. And yep, there's Master Evil Winkers right there. This was the fight against him. So that was pretty cool at the time. So we defeated him, and the Jungle Temple was saved, alongside the entire anniversary of the Jungle Temple for its 3rd anniversary once and for all. This was a fun event. Now, the Adventure Party is, I don't think, not coming back this year. Just because I just never thought of doing it. So Yeah, no adventure party this year. Maybe next year it'll return. But either way, let's move on to the next event. Since I already talked about the Jungle Temple anniversary pretty much the whole time, we don't need to go through that. You already knew the deal by now. But either way, we have the other side of the island, third anniversary. It started on November 18th and only lasted the one day. This also started on the exact same day as the next mainline event that we'll go into right in a few minutes. First off, as you all know, this event obviously celebrated the 3-year anniversary of the other side of the island. That was seriously cool at the time. So basically, same deal as the past few other side of the island anniversary celebrations. Basically, again, other side of the island was all covered in cakes. We had a number 3, all in wood and torches like the past few years. We obviously had a hat, so that made total sense at the time. Well, actually, that's every year. And I think for the first time ever, I don't think there was actually a banner. Yeah, I think this time there was no banner this time. So that was different. Somehow. I think there was only a hat available. So that's definitely something. So yeah, with that being said, oh yeah, we did have the target game as a little just game to play during the anniversary party. After the anniversary party ended, it was removed pretty much immediately after. So, yeah, just thought I'd mention real quick. There's not really much else to say about this, so let's move on to the actual event of November. That, of course, being Operation Rescue. It started on November 18th and ended December 1st. This event, Evil Sheep Leader captured all of the dogs and mind-controlled them, making them destroy various things on the island. They basically Evil Sheep Leader basically turned all the dogs evil and sent them out to destroy various things on the island. That's a better way to describe it. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I got a dog version of myself to help me out during this party. He left immediately after the event ended on December 1st, however. So, that was pretty cool. So at the time, yeah, it was basically me versus all my dogs. Thank God I had the dog version of myself to help me during this time, as I probably would not have been able to do it by myself. So that was a nice touch. Either way, not only in this party, but we also did have a few Operation Wilderness references around Operation Rescue, due to this operation being very similar to Operation Wilderness, where it being the dogs being captured. But this time they were all turned to evil. So that was definitely something back then. Either way, it was nice seeing a few references to Operation Wilderness during this time, as it actually felt pretty good. Either way, the missions obviously included of the facts. Every single day, we had to go around the island and find whatever dog turned evil. We had to, first off, find the dog that was evil for that day. And, we had to fight them. And of course, we would have to kill them to get their name tag. After so, we would respawn them, tame them with a bone, get their name tag back, and restore them once and for all. This took around, give or take, 13 days of missions? Yeah, there were 13 missions total. And it took a while, but it was worth it in the end. I actually really liked this operation. It was actually pretty cool at the time, I'm not gonna lie. Now, with that being said, basically, you know the deal. Basically, yeah, Operation Wilderness references all over the island, and even one dating back to Lagos Island summer of 2019. That came out of literally nowhere at the time. And here's footage of Mission 3 to prove what I was talking about. Basically, at least in Mission 3, Steven lit the ranch on fire. Which, of course, since it was made out of wood, easily destroyed it. We had to find him inside the base, inside the, ranch. And he would obviously go evil and destroy us. But eventually we killed him off and got to rename him. Well, just retame him and bring him back to our side. That's an example of one of the missions. But what we also needed to, remember is that at the time in Mission 3, the ranch was burning on fire. So we also needed to keep track of where Steven was and also the ranch burning on fire. That's just an example of one of the missions. I just went over Mission 3 as just a pure example as one of the missions during this party. So you could get the idea of what this operation was about. That was just Mission 3 that I went over, just as an example as one of the missions. And oh boy, that was bad. I may consider rewatching all these at some point in the future, because I kind of forgot about them. Either way, I still think this operation was pretty freaking awesome. I truly think that this was a really, really cool operation that I think was meant to be held at some point. Well, I never really planned on making this operation a thing. I only planned it out, I think, back in like July or something of 2021, in the middle of July. And I thought that this operation sounded like a cool idea. So I made it out, and well, it happened. So that was cool. Anyway, moving on. I think we have one more thing related to this event. Another pure example of a mission was Mission 10, which honestly was one of my personal favorites. In this mission, we had to follow a set of music notes to launch an Ender Crystal back at, wait, who was it at the time? I think it was... Wait, who was turning evil at the time? Just need to remember. Who was it at the time? It was... Splash. Yep, Splash. Nice. Okay, just needed to remember. So basically, Splash turned obviously evil, since all the dogs were evil. And, yeah, we basically destroyed him. Or, in this case, in this footage, I died there. But either way, we did go against Splash. And, destroyed him using a music pattern to launch one of the Ender Crystals at Splash to destroy him. However, I think he followed what Evil Sheep Leader did during the Future Party and barricaded himself in bedrock to prevent him from getting blown up. And well, it worked because I kept dying a million times. So, that's just another pure example of one of the missions. Let's get to the end of this thing. On the last day, on November 30th, we had to travel back to the Wilderness Island, as that is where Evil Sheep Leader's base was at the time of this operation. It was a nice little throwback to, like, the Island Expedition and stuff, and Operation Wilderness. You don't even understand how many Operation Wilderness references there were in this event. Oh boy. Oh boy, HQ Secretary filled this in pretty well during the time. You gotta thank her for all the Operation Wilderness reference. Oh god, it felt great. Eventually, we found Evil Sheep Leader's base, and oh boy, this felt incredible. So, on the last day, we finally figured out that the dogs we rescued were actually clones and not the real dogs, which means Evil Sheep Leader had the real dogs evil the entire time, and what we rescued were clones of the dogs instead. Which I will admit, that was pretty insane. How was I supposed to know at the time? He pretty much tricked all of us, including myself. Of course, we had to battle against all of the dogs. And my god, this was insane. After all the dogs were defeated, we had to do the exact same thing we did in Mission 10, where we had to play music notes to launch an Ender Crystal at Evil Sheep Leader to blow him up, like we did for Splash at the resort on Mission 10. Which, I did this on purpose because it was so much fun back then. And my god, this was incredible. One of the most epic finales I think we've had in a while. Not as good as, say, the Operation Lake Without finales. No, those will always remain the best mission finales of all time on this island. But this was kind of a close third or second, as opposed to those. I think we did a pretty good job with the finale. And it was nice bringing back all those references. With all that being said, my God, this event was jam-packed, as you could have clearly told. And, well, we still have at least 2 more events to go through. And then we're done with this whole thing. Speaking of which, on November 25th, 2021, aka Thanksgiving of 2021, at the other side of the island, we had the the Thanksgiving mini-event of 2021. Which, in my opinion, was seriously cool. So, yeah. And this was also on the mission, and actually, the mission for that day, Mission 8, was actually located at the other side of the island. Basically, at first, well, it was completely flooded. And then later on, once all the things were flooded, well, at least when all the water was unflooded from the other side of the island, at least after Mission 8, we were eventually able to see the Thanksgiving mini-event, because all the water would be gone. So that was a little fun twist right before we actually got to tour the whole thing. We actually had to unplug the other side of the island before showcasing it. So that was a little fun twist. Anyway, with that being said, there really isn't much to say about this one. We did have a few cool items. And actually that is true. All of the gardens were covered in pumpkins. We had free items exclusively, and I mean those free. We have a hat, banner, and a turkey item, which was pretty cool. This was actually the first Thanksgiving mini event to actually have a banner, which was pretty sweet at the time. So with that being said, that was a really cool twist as well. With that being said, however, my God, what's with the loudness? You able to get this over with? Hold on. There we go. So yeah, even in the nighttime, it was extremely cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, all of Operation Rescue took place at nighttime. So that was pretty cool. This event started on November 25th and ended the 28th. Basically for all Thanksgiving weekend, basically. And that's all that needs to be said about this event. Now to the final event of 2021. It's about time, because we've been doing this for 2 hours. But in reality, I have actually been doing this for over 15 hours. Finally, but not least, guys, we have LEGO's Island Christmas 2021. Oh my God, guys, this has to be my favorite LEGO's Island Christmas of all time. This probably has to be the most creative one I had ever made at the time. I don't know how I'm going to top this off in 2022, but either way, oh my God, guys. This was just the most incredible LEGO's Island Christmas at the time. I truly think I did an incredible job with all of the decorations in this party, because I truly think I went all out in this party. Because as you can see, there were trees all over the island. There were lit up trees all over the island, which was insane at the time. Like, seriously. And there were multiple things. This also introduced the gold candy cane to the island, which, in my opinion, was extremely cool. But the main purpose was all the extra snow, like 2018, and all of those lit up trees. Those were awesome. And yeah, my God, seriously, this again has to be my favorite LEGO's Island Christmas. I don't know why. There are just a lot of events this year in 2021 that I find my personal favorite version of the set events. And yes, as you could have clearly told in the footage, I did light up all the beacons again because, well, it was Christmas. We had to have them up. It felt like Christmas lights, and it actually worked. Seriously, the amount of effort I put into this event was seriously fantastic. It started on December 1st and ended January 1st. However, just like the New Year's party of 2021, there were some leftover Christmas rooms, but not as many compared to 2020. That was because I couldn't take down the event all in one day. just like 2020 Christmas event. But either way, this is cool. This is also the first Christmas event on LEGO's Island to last an entire month, and just like the Halloween party, it is now a new rule that this must be a thing every year. Because it'll start at the exact same time as the Advent calendar, which also, let me just say, was straight up fantastic as well. Both the event and Advent calendar was absolutely fantastic. But actually, we did not have one, but 2 Advent calendars in this party. 2 of them! Let me prove I'm not actually joking. Yes, that's right. The 12 Days of Classic Christmas Items. This was a remake of the 2017 12 Days of Christmas from the first ever LEGO's Island Christmas. The reason this was brought back was because I thought it would have been a cool idea at the time to release some old Christmas items from the past 4 Advent calendars. And, well, it worked. All of it did. Oh yeah, speaking of which, that dog right there was named Holiday, which was also the first gift in the Advent calendar this year. And if I haven't said the name, his name was Holiday. And I think people agreed that that was a good name. I think I agree too. Holiday is a good name. And that was the first gift of the Advent calendar, making this the first Advent calendar since 2017 to not have the first item be a set of armor. Woo! Although I think this year we're going to go back to that, though. I don't think I can think of another Christmas-themed dog name. Although I don't feel like having another Christmas-themed dog. I think Holiday was already good enough. Either way, though, I just still cannot get over how freaking awesome this event was. Again, my all-time favorite LEGO's Island Christmas. I don't know how we're going to beat the success of this. And this year is going to be 5 years since the first ever LEGO's Island Christmas. Maybe I might do something special just like Halloween. And maybe bring back some old rooms, but with a major twist as well. I don't know. We'll see. But that's 11 months away. That's nearly 10 months away. And I'm not going to plan on doing that until we get extremely close to it. But either way, I cannot decide what room was my favorite during this event. I had way too much fun creating this event. And it was crazy that I got a majority of it done within the first day. I actually started making this event the night in advance on November 30th, just because I knew how long it was going to take me. And oh well, it did take me a good majority of December 1st to set up the whole event. And well, you couldn't blame me here. The entire island was decorated again, which made sense. Now, some rooms I couldn't get done until December 2nd, which kind of made sense considering I was trying to decorate the whole island at the time, but I couldn't get it all done. Either way, I just can't praise this event anymore. This event was just way too freaking epic. But there's something else that made this event epic. This, for example, on December 24th, 2021, a throwback to 2017 was made, and that was the sleigh. That's right, the sleigh actually came back. The sleighs from 2017 made a return during this party on Christmas Eve to celebrate. And I thought of bringing this back because I actually kind of missed it. And you know it's back this year too, so just be on the lookout for that on Christmas Eve itself. With all that being said, my God, guys, this was my favorite LEGO's Island Christmas of all time. And probably the biggest LEGO's Island Christmas I had ever made on the island. Like I said, don't know how I'm going to be able to top off the last year's. It was just so epic. And guys, with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching all LEGO's Island events in 2021. That is it, guys. That is literally it for all LEGO's Island events in 2021. This was incredible. I cannot thank you guys enough for watching. I can't believe it took me this long to finally do it. So, okay. I think I was wrong. 2021, I think it was a lot bigger of a year than I thought it would be. Oh boy, I did not think it was going to take that long to go through all of those events. Thankfully, however, I think when we do this next year for 2022, it should not take as long, seeing as there's not going to be as many events as 2021. Oh boy, I'm going to say that right now, and then there probably is going to be even more. Why do I say things like that? Oh man, that's just gonna be even more for me to do next year if I say that right now. But no, there's definitely gonna be way less events in 2022 than there was in 2021. For at least mainline events. Yeah. I think the ones that drag us up this long, I think was Operation Evil Cluck. And the May events as well. I think those, oh, and the free April events. I think those were the only ones that made us go here this far. Either way, see you all in the next Saturday Stories on February 4th. No, sorry, the February 5th. There we go. February 5th. Which we will be talking about the backyard events of 2021. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye! Oh boy, I've been doing this for over 15 hours. I'm finally done!